I think one of the most important things that any of us can do is make a decision to join a church. I realize, and I know you do too, that joining a church has nothing to do with our eternal placement. That is determined by a relationship with Jesus Christ. But next to that decision, I think a decision to involve ourselves in a local church is critical. So I commend every person who's making a decision to become, to associate their life and their family and put their well-being under the spiritual care of a pastoral elder leadership like you're doing here at Gateway. This is what Psalm 92 says in verse 13. Those who are planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bear fruit in old age. They shall be fresh and flourishing to declare that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. A decision to become a part of a local church is a spiritual decision, one that we believe has been prayerfully entered into. We receive people into membership with the idea that they have considered, they feel led by God to place themselves into this place, and they're making a decision, a statement to us. And the statement is, we're placing our family's spiritual well-being under the care and covering of the pastors and elder leadership of Gateway Church. Something that you don't enter into lightly, and for the promise that I just read about. The benefit to our life is, I believe, practically fourfold. The benefit of becoming a member of a church and becoming known, active in service and involvement in relationship is this. A church provides a place of relationship. We become known. At Gateway Church, it's a large enough place that if you don't want to be known, you can kind of come and fit under the umbrella and not be known and slide in and slide out. Our desire is that wouldn't be the case. Our desire is that every person would be known, build relationship, and become actively involved in the process. A church is a place of relationship. Second, a church is a place of service, a place to activate our gifts in service for God and for other people. It's not the only place. I mean, we use our gifts in our vocation, we use our gifts in our neighborhood and with our family, but it is a place where we can be known, and from the place of being known, actively serve and serve God and help others. The third thing that it does, it provides a place of covering. When we are known, and then when we move out into the community as an expression of our service for God, people will say, so where do you go to church? The real question, at least for me, when I ask that question of someone who's teaching a Bible study or actively involved in some area of service is, who can correct you? Who's providing care over your life? That's really the issue of covering. And if you're teaching something that's wrong, if you're doing something that's wrong, who is there that provides some spiritual care that could bring correction to your life? Well, ideally, it'd be someone in pastoral leadership, church leadership, someone that knows you and knows God's work in your life. A church is a place of covering. And the last thing is, it's a place of growth. Everyone who comes into the church, no matter where they are in their journey with God, they become activated in a place of growing faith. They enter into a process of God's work in their life, and their family, their marriage, their kids. It's a part of the incubator of God's work in our life. Is it the only place? No. Sometimes I talk to people and they say, well, I believe my relationship with God is just God and me, and I can do it at home. You can. I think you miss something. A relationship with God is a personal, it's an individual relationship, but it's nurtured in the context of an extended environment of relationships. And so it's a place of growth. Those four things, relationship, a place of service, a place of covering, and a place of growth, are the reason that I say the church is the hope of the world, but it's an important step. Once we've made Jesus Christ Lord, it's an important step in our spiritual development. So I want to commend every person who's making a decision today to join the church. A covenant of fellowship is what we call it. You're covenanting with us to say, I will give myself in service to God and others through this place. I will give my resources in support of the vision and the work that God has called us to do. I will represent the church and the things that take place, and we make a response back to you, a covenant back to you that says, and we will provide good biblical foundation, an environment of biblical, an atmosphere of faith so that your family can grow, and we'll provide spiritual covering for you. I think that's the best thing that we can do, and the best thing for people as they come into a growing relationship with God.